The voice of the announcer boomed across the airport. Final boarding call for Flight 287 to Seattle. Emma's heart skipped a beat. She broke into a sprint, her heels clattering sharply against the polished floor. Coat fluttering behind her like wings in flight. Her eyes darted frantically from one glowing gate number to the next. The straps of her heavy backpack bit into her shoulder, bouncing with every hurried step. But she didn't slow down. Just a few more feet. Just a little further, and she would make it. But then help. Someone, please. The faint, trembling cry stopped her dead in her tracks. Emma spun around. Near a row of chairs, an elderly man slouched awkwardly, his cane lying forgotten on the ground. His gray overcoat hung loosely from his frail frame. One hand clutched at his chest, his face twisted with pain and fear. Emma froze, torn. The gate was right in front of her. Beyond those doors was the flight she had struggled for months to afford. The interview waiting in Seattle could change her entire future. Everything, every sacrifice. Every sleepless night had led to this moment. But then the man wheezed again, his lips quivering, eyes pleading for help. Emma's instincts overpowered her ambition. She turned away from the gate and rushed back toward him. Emma Brooks was 29 years old, and in her own eyes, she was no hero. She never thought of herself as extraordinary. She was just a part-time waitress and part-time caregiver from Cleveland, living modestly, paycheck to paycheck. As the eldest of four, raised by a single mother, she had grown up with one unshakable lesson. Kindness wasn't about what you had, it was about what you gave. And Emma gave all she could. Now, she was giving up what she had spent a year working toward. Kneeling beside the stranger, Emma steadied his trembling body. She asked if he could breathe, felt his pulse, and spoke softly to keep him calm. Every skill she had learned caring for elderly patients came flooding back. Airport staff rushed over, followed by paramedics carrying equipment. The scene turned chaotic. Over the loudspeakers, her name was called repeatedly, but Emma never moved toward the gate. By the time the man was stabilized and wheeled away on a stretcher, the engines of Flight 287 had already roared to life. The plane she had fought so hard to board was gone, taking her long-awaited opportunity with it. Emma sank onto a chair at Gate 16. Her boarding pass crumpled in her sweaty palm. Tears gathered in her eyes, not from regret, but from pure exhaustion. A year's worth of savings had gone into that ticket. Her dream job in Seattle, working for a nonprofit helping children with disabilities, depended on that interview. And now, it was impossible. No flight could get her there in time. Her hands shook as she typed out a message to the hiring manager, apologizing for not making it. She pressed send, then turned her phone off. Nearby, a janitor sweeping the floor noticed her distressed face. "You okay, miss?" he asked gently. Emma quickly wiped her tears. "Yeah, just missed my flight." He nodded knowingly, as if he understood far more than her words revealed, and went back to work. Hours passed. Emma wandered through the terminal aimlessly, clutching her worn-out bag, unsure of what to do next. Her savings were gone, her plans shattered. Each step felt heavier than the last. Then, as she walked past a small coffee stand, a voice called out from behind the counter, "Miss Emma Brooks." Emma turned, startled. "Yes, the staff at Gate 4 asked for you. Someone's waiting there." Confused, Emma dragged her tired body and bag across the bustling terminal. At Gate 4, two men in sharp suits greeted her with warm smiles. "Miss Brooks, Mr. Harrington would like to meet with you," one said politely. "Mr. Harrington," she repeated, puzzled. They didn't explain, only motioned for her to follow into a nearby lounge. Inside, the atmosphere was a world apart from the noisy airport. The lighting was soft, the chairs plush, the air calm, and sitting in a large leather chair, sipping tea with ease, was the very same man Emma had helped earlier. But he no longer looked like a helpless stranger. He now radiated confidence and authority. Dressed in a crisp navy suit. "I wasn't sure I'd get the chance to see you again," the man said with a warm smile. "Please, have a seat." Emma hesitated before sitting. Her mind spun in confusion. You're all right?" He nodded. "Because of you. I owe you more than I can say." Emma lowered her gaze, her voice trembling. "I missed my flight. I had an interview in Seattle. It was so important." "I know," the man interrupted gently. "I asked about you." Her brows furrowed. "But, who are you?" The man leaned forward and extended his hand. "Arthur Harrington, founder and chairman of Sky Legend Airlines." The words struck her like lightning. She gasped. You own the airline." "Technically, my children run most of it now." He chuckled. "But I still visit airports alone. I like to watch people. You see the very best and the very worst of humanity here. And today, I saw something rare." Emma shook her head. I only did what anyone would have done. That's just it, Harrington replied, his eyes steady on hers. Not everyone would. Most people would have walked past, but you didn't. And that reminded me of why I built this company, not for profit, but for people. He pulled out his phone and spoke quickly into it. Reschedule Miss Brooks' interview in Seattle. Have the board of directors flown in as well? I want them to meet her. Emma sat frozen, her jaw slightly open. I don't understand. Why would you do this for me? Harrington's gaze softened. Because the world needs more people like you. And because when everyone else ignored me, you chose compassion. 2 weeks later, Emma walked through a quiet park in Seattle. Around her neck hung a Sky Legend badge, and in her heart was a gratitude deeper than words. She hadn't just secured the job, she had been entrusted to lead the airline's new charitable division, designed to support elderly passengers, low-income families, and caregivers across the country. But Emma never shared the whole story, not with her coworkers, not with reporters, not even with her closest friends. For her, kindness had never been about recognition. It had always been about doing what was right, even when no one else was watching. And so, dear listener, when you see the viral photo of Emma Brooks standing beside Arthur Harrington, smiling as the face of Sky Legend's humanitarian initiatives, know this. She is the same woman who once gave up her chance at success to save a stranger, only to discover that act of kindness was the very thing that lifted her higher than she had ever dreamed. Because kindness costs nothing, yet it holds the power to open doors that money never will. And sometimes, the road you take out of compassion is not a detour at all, it's the path destiny had planned for you all along.